Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another round of the season here at Qatar for round 13 of the Invictus League racing here at what will be a fabulous event tonight around the desert of the Sail International Circuit. It's a pleasure and a privilege, as always, to be commentating on this fantastic championship. I'm Jack TM53, going to go through all of the action on board tonight, and I am very much looking forward to this track. It's one that should certainly promote a lot of tactical fights out there. We've seen already in the earlier tiers from Monday through to Wednesday, tiers 1 to 4, we've seen different strategies going on all the way through the event, and I'm very curious to see how tonight's drivers get on in their realistic performance cars. We know that those that are racing the Ferraris are going to have some interesting tyre wear to deal with. The AlphaTauri is going to be a little bit more difficult to handle. We're not expecting any rain at Qatar tonight, but having said that, we did have earlier on in the season. I've just realised what I've done. Hello everyone, hopefully you can just hear me now a little bit better on that. There we go, much better. So we're all ready pretty much to go here in Qatar. I just realised my microphone was also coming through on the drivers chat, so it wouldn't have been ideal for them to listen to me commentate as they were going along. But one thing to make a note of is that the championship could be sealed tonight. Whilst we don't have the up-to-date drivers' standings for the whole field, what I have been able to calculate is that Merckx leads the way on 322 points. His next closest rival is Ryan, who is in tonight on 240. Now, Ryan has said that he's not been on F1 since a week ago, so he is going to be a little bit rusty. And as far as I can work out, he is 82 points behind Merckx. He needs to outscore Merckx by 16 points today to keep the fight going on into the next round. We shall see how this plays out. Merckx will be starting near the back of the grid. Ryan will be right at the back of the queue because he wasn't here last week, so he starts 15th, and we will see how everybody else manages to get along. Simon has also said before the race he's hoping this is the night for a podium. He's going to go for an aggressive strategy and depends on how it goes. And Simon has said that if things go wrong, can I come and say hello in the commentary box? Yeah, why not? It'd be nice to have somebody with me. Obviously, JPH should normally be here. He will be back next week, JPH, hopefully, to commentate on the Invictus Racing League realistic performance that we're watching tonight. And a big thank you as well to our partners with Grid Finder. You can go and explore all of those different racing leagues that are available out there, including on different platforms, including PC and Xbox, alongside PlayStation 5 or 4, depending on what console you've got. But let's be honest, I say this every single time, you want to be here in Invictus racing with us. Now, we've got the 5 red lights coming up here at Qatar. And the race is live. It looks like a good start for Owen off the front of the grid, and he's going to be leading towards turn 1. You've got some strategy in front of you, and that's a few cars in the wall. And that's Joe, that's Martin, and Ginger Tiger are all in the wall, and that's surely a safety car. There's another car round. Goodness me, that's been an explosive launch already, but 2 drivers are out. It looked like 3 went into 1, just didn't go, and sadly, we've lost 2 drivers before we even got to turn 1. Goodness me, we'll have to look at that one back. I did see, I think it was Atsu who went round as well. This was just after the safety car was called, so he got caught up in shenanigans. I'm not surprised Ginger Tiger needs a front wing. Wow, what an opening lap. Not the type of lap we wanted to see, but there we are. So those that are watching in the chat live currently, it's great to have you on board with us here at Invictus, but that has been an explosive launch. Martin and Joe going to be very frustrated at that. It looked like just 3 cars went for the same piece of tarmac from the screen that I had anyway, and the screen that you guys have. It's the same one that I'm currently using. Gee. Let's have a look then at the start. Look at the grid positions we've seen. Cameron up 3 places. Merckx already up to 3rd. MDJ up 2 spots in 5th in the other AlphaTauri. Simon Palmer, good start for him, up 5 places. So Spud didn't get the best of launches, but he is still in the top 10 currently. Nitro there in 8th place, up 4. Darrell, Mikey, Ryan all up 4 places. Atsu losing 10 spots because of that opening shenanigans, and Ginger Tiger coming in to get a new front wing, and I imagine this isn't going to help him either because he's obviously selected the soft tyres. He doesn't want to use an extra set of compounds in the feature race, which he's going to have in a minute. Let's see what tyres he goes onto. It's another set of soft, so he's gone with the softer set of tyres he could select before we go into the actual race itself. And away he goes, gets out from the pit lane. So it's another set of softs for Ginger Tiger, but he wouldn't have wanted to have used those. So he's going to lose out on that set later on in the feature race. But he's out on track, which is the main thing. Atsu's up with the back of the group as well. But, wow. Here we are then. Lap 2, we're under safety car. I was also saying regarding, good to have everybody following us who is watching tonight. Please do like the stream. It does mean a great deal for our raising our profile here at Invictus. It means a great deal to us if you could get involved. So please do check that out. Give us a like on the stream. That's really appreciated if you can. I was also mentioning about Grid Finder. I also want to say a big thank you to Venturi Studios as well for creating those wonderful graphics that you see across Invictus Racing all over the platforms, not just on YouTube, but of course across Discord and on social media channels too. Turning those dreams into reality. That's exactly what Venturi Studios are all about. But Owen's reality is that he's leading the race. First time we've seen him in the front again for a while. Did have a little bit of a renaissance a few weeks ago, did Owen, running near the front, but it's been a challenge for him this season. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. But he's got the lead of the pack. He does have Cameron and Merckx behind him, and these two we've seen through the season how quick they are. And they're going to really fight him hard for a victory here. And Merckx will be having one eye on his championship. I'm sure he'll have thought about it. Atsu has gone into the pit. So I had a feeling that the Aston Martin might have had damage. And he's decided to bail into the pit lane to get a new set of tyres on. Speaking of tyres, let's just have a look at them. So we've got a rainbow selection. We've got soft and medium. Mikey, the only driver running the hards. He's decided to go for that compound there. He's just weaving in the background in 10th place. And Atsu will be coming out in a moment. I'm just looking to see. He has been serviced by his pit crew. It's another set of softs, which will comfortably last to the end of the race. I say comfortably. Compared to a full green flag running of a race here at Qatar, it's a lot more comfortable having 2 less laps of wear on them, even at reduced speeds that we're under with the safety car. It's still better to have a brand new set of soft tyres on. It is very demanding, this circuit. The black Pirelli tyres do suffer a lot around here. We saw in the earlier tiers this week that even the hard tyres in the sprint race were struggling at times, depending on what setup you were running, to do 14 laps. That's a big amount to try and explore. I've got a friend request. Lovely. Hello, friend. But in any case, we have our drivers at the front, and Merckx will be keen to get away from Kent behind him, who's running the mediums, as is Sir Spud. I could mention as well to see Darrell back in the action. It's been a long time coming. It's been a while since we saw him, but he is racing tonight with us in RP, and it's good to have him on board. A big fan favourite in our community is Darrell, and he's had some stuff going on outside of racing life, but he's been back this week, and it's great to see him on board with the Invictus Racing League family again. And the safety car is in this lap, so Aston Martin safety car will be pulling away now. And Owen just needs to control this gap to the safety car. He's got 2 corners after the one that we are going round currently. That's turn 13. And he's just got to get his launch right. He doesn't want Cameron too close to the back of him so that he can slipstream him towards turn 1. And I'm noticing that Cameron's just keeping a little bit further back from his teammate. These two will be talking together. And maybe they'll try and work together to stop Merck from going through. Off they go. And that is a good launch. And I think they've both worked it out there. They've managed to catch Merck off guard a little bit. And they're going to be comfortably clear as we approach turn 1. Bit of battery usage going on from the Haas. And here he comes flying flat out towards turn 1. Cameron on the outside. And he swings on through into the lead of the race. Owen into second. Merck with Kent with him. That's Spud and Nitro Gash having a big fight over 7th place. And I think Darrell's going to go through as well. And he passes the Red Bull into 8th position. Mikey got a group of cars behind him too. But those bottom gear drivers at the front, they're going to be delighted with that start. P1 and 2 swapped a place round, but they got the jump on Merck. And that's what they were aiming for. Ginger Tiger. Oh, Ryan's gone backwards. I think he's just had a moment somewhere. I don't think it's anything major. But Merck is in the hunt. He's right there, coming around this long right-hander at turn 7. Completely flat at turn 9. And sure enough, Merck was full commitment into turn 10. Now, guys, there seems to be quite a few gaps appearing. Merck's already got a second to Kent, who's now putting the pressure on Owen, is Merck currently. MDJ all over the rear spoiler of the Mercedes in front of him. And look at this grip differentials here at the very fast right-handers in the final sector of the lap. MDJ wants to get on with this. He wants to join the group in front of him. But for the time being, needs to just get his line right, and he's going to be there. Here we go. Nice and easy for the AlphaTauri to blast on past. And into 4th place he goes. Ryan's in the pits. And Owen retakes Cameron for the lead of the race. And I wonder if these two are just working together now to stop Merck from getting another race win. I wonder if these two are going to try and work this even in the feature race as well. MDJ leads the next group of cars. Simon Palmer's there in 6th place. Nitro's on in company with Darrell. That's Ginger Tiger, Spud, Atsu, Mikey, Ryan in the pit. So unless there's another safety car, unfortunately for Ryan, his fading championship chances are going to become naught. Atsu right on the rear spoiler of the Red Bull in front of him. Wonder if he's going to look to make a move into turn 10. The answer is no, and Darrell picks up a time penalty. Track limits are very harsh around here at Qatar. You can't get away with anything, so expect a few more to pop up during the feature race, and probably in the sprint too for that matter. Look at Atsu though, pushing the boundaries of where Sir Spud is. DRS, I believe, won't be enabled just yet unless I've misread where we are on the form. Let's have a look towards next corner. No, exactly. Cameron working once again. Now it's enabled on this lap, and Owen gets overtaken. Merckx can't find a way through. There's MDJ in 4th. He's just starting to get clear of Kent, who's finding himself with the attention of Simon Palmer behind him. Darrell and Ginger together. Atsu can't find a way past the Red Bull. That car is very quick in a straight line, but what a move by the number 99 of Atsu. That's a great overtake around the outside of turn 2. He'll be delighted with that. Off he goes into the distance, and Mikey will try and keep up with the Red Bull in front of him. The front 3, though, might just about to become a front 4, because MDJ is almost within a second, and if he gets to that DRS point, that's going to help him massively in the fight moving forward. Mikey's gone past Spud for 10th. It's right on board with Merckx. All together in a row, these guys. Completely flat through these right-handers. But there's no way through. There's a little downshift for Merckx through the corner just to keep the balance of the car through the corner. Then it's a little blip down a gear into 6th for the left-hander. And MDJ is pushing hard. He knows he's got to get in that DRS range. Now, I am sure that Cameron and Owen will be working this together. And into the lead of the race goes Owen. But here comes Merckx. And he knows he's got to try and go through. And that's what he's doing. He's trying to go for 2, but he can't quite make it. Oh, he's up to second. MDJ's just fighting hard to get into this fight. Only 4 laps to go, including the lap we're on, so the sprint going by us very, very swiftly. But Cameron and Owen won't have wanted the AlphaTauri splitting them. I wonder if these two will be communicating on their pit wall about what's going to go on next. It's 2 against 1 in the strategic fight currently. All line astern at the moment. As Cameron runs a little bit wide there out of turn 10. He'll get away with that. But the problem is if he starts losing distance to the guys in front of him, he'll have the attention of MDJ with him in just a moment. But you can see them all pushing the absolute extremities of the track. Oh, how tight was that to the white line from Cameron? Down through the gears into 4th. And then back up as quickly as he can. But Owen's going to find this to be a bit of a foregone conclusion. And Merck takes the lead. Here on lap 8 in Qatar. Owen's in second. Tries to look at a fight back into turn 1. But it's not going to happen. And MDJ's going to struggle now. Simon goes through for 5th. Gets those soft tyres working. And I think he'll be aiming to finish 5th in the sprint as Kent pushes him all the way around turn 2. He'll be looking to take 5th place, I reckon. And then... Ooh, wow, that was late from Kent. I think he underestimated how early Simon was going to brake for that corner. Dragash has got the attention of Ginger with him. Darrell also has the attentions of Atsu behind him. The 2 Aston Martins fighting for the last spots in the top 10. Mikey and Sir Spud just a little bit gapped, but they are on different tyres. And Mikey's hard tyres just won't be working compared to those around him. A yellow flag in sector 2, but not for any... I think Spud might have had a little half spin, but nothing that's going to cause him too much grief. And Owen picks up a time penalty. Well, now, that does change the dynamic of the race. He'll want to fight to make sure that Cameron can get past Merck. And he'll have to try and help his teammate and slingshot him up the road. MDJ is just about with them. And Merck going defensive. He should be clear towards turn 1. I don't think it'll be a problem. And Spud has gone round at turn 12 by the looks of it. Or in between turn 12 and 13, I think it is actually. Oh, Merck still at the front of the field. Look at this. This is teamwork, and Cam is let through by the Alfa Romeo of Owen. And Owen recognises that Cameron's best chance is going to be fighting on the front foot compared to Merck. And they're going to have to really use some good strategy here to get past Merck. This is almost the champion-elect at the moment. We'll know for sure at the end of the feature race whether it is his crown. But he wants to get this over the line. And he's almost got himself out of DRS range. The other thing around here, everybody, battery usage is very, very difficult to manage. We've seen in the earlier tiers that you can't really recover the battery unless there's a safety car or you're going in for your pit stop. So the drivers are going to have to be wary of that. Well, we've got 1 lap to go. As we round this final corner, the drivers will be going on to lap 10. And Cameron is going to use every bit of his arsenal to get close enough to the AlphaTauri, but he's not close enough. We're on the final lap of the race. But Merck is not under threat at all into turn 1. MDJ just can't latch himself onto the back of this group. That's the problem. DRS is so powerful around here. Kent got past Simon then as well. And those soft tyres just starting to fall away. And Kent taking full advantage of that. Ginger there in 7th. He's got in front of Nitro. Atsu. Darrell's got to be careful. He's only a couple of seconds in front of Mikey. And if he picks up another time penalty, well, even if the current time penalty he's got is going to drop him behind Mikey. So that's a fight towards the end of the race. Ryan and Spud going for the final spot into turn one, but Ryan goes around the outside of Sir Spud. That takes that position away from him. But just a few corners to go here in Qatar. Round turn 11 goes Mercked. And he just needs to stay clear of any mistakes now. It's looking like almost a foregone conclusion. I can't see Cameron getting close enough to overtake him. MDJ goes way, way wide in the background. But he rounds the final corner. He should be close enough despite the battery. It is going to be another win for Mercked here in Qatar. It's Cameron in second. It'll be MDJ in third place. It's going to be close on the line. But it is Owen who takes fourth, with Kent and Simon rounding out the top six. Everyone else coming towards the line now. Mikey's going to get 10th past Daryl, who makes his return this week, of course. It's just Ryan and Sir Spud. I think Spud just trying to get to the end of the race. I don't know if he had damage. Doesn't look like it on his car. But just these two rounding the last corner now. Coming over the line. There goes Ryan. And here comes Spud weaving his way to the finish. At least he got over the line, which is the big thing for Spud. It's good to see. So Merckx will now be on 330 points. We'll have to have a look at Ryan's tally. I'm thinking it's looking like it's going to be Merckx at the end of the evening. So we've got Merckx as your race winner once again here in the Realistic Performance League. It's Cameron in second with MDJ third, rounding off the podiums. Owen very close to getting that last spot on the podium, but his time penalty takes him away. Kent in fifth with Simon, Ginger Tiger, Nitro rounding out the top 8, and the traditional sprint race point scorers end there. Atsu and Mikey in the top 10. Daryl dropping further back thanks to a couple of time penalties. Ryan and Sir Spud finishing the race. Martin and Joe out before we even got to turn 1. And a good recovery from Ginger Tiger, actually, to be honest, to finish where he did in the end, considering he had no front wing. And Sir Spud saying he did break his front wing. I couldn't see whether there was any damage on the screen, Spud, but that certainly was the case for you, sadly. And Joe and Martin not at all happy about what's gone on. I think Ginger is saying that he believes he is the cause of it. So, well, the stewards will have to debate that one, but it does seem pretty self-explanatory. Ginger was at fault there. We've just got a few moments before we get underway for the feature race here in Qatar. The drivers will be making their preparations. But if you are watching, do please comment who you think is going to take the top 3 places here in Qatar. Whether you think there'll be another safety car. It's not typically a circuit where you would expect a safety car. There's lots of runoff here at Losail. But obviously, when you have an incident like that at the start, it's very fascinating to see how the safety car can come out if there's an incident on track. Because of an incident on the start main straight, realistically. Mikey saying he picked the wrong tyre for the sprint. I'd agree, Mikey. You were a little bit slow, but the pace was good. On that hard compound. Right, we've got the 5 red lights coming up here for the feature race at Qatar. And the race is live. Here we go then towards turn 1. Looks like a good start for Merckx as we approach turn 1. And sure enough, he's got the lead of the race. He's going to be on the inside comfortably to turn 1. Owen trying to dive up the inside of MDJ, and he gets the move done. So Owen up to third using the grip of those medium tyres already. MDJ, the first of the hard tyre runners. Then it's Simon on the mediums, Kent on the softs. He's under pressure from Ginger. Mikey up to 8th. A good launch from him in that Ferrari. So far so good from everybody. Nice and clean, which is what we want to see. Darrell's dropped down a few places at the start, down to 15th. But Merckx and Cameron will need to get on the way and up the road. Those soft tyres will last probably 12, maybe 13 laps tops. And then they're going to have to scramble with the medium tyre compound in a little while. So let's skip through the field. So MDJ trying to keep up with the Alfa Romeo in front of him. The two at the front have almost got a second on Owen. Then it's the hard tyre crew from Ginger Tiger right the way back down to Martin, who's just gone past Joe Hamster. But nice move from underneath from Joe. And he's back up to 12th. Good move. And good fighting between those guys. Darrell's dropped a bit further back from that. Not sure what's gone on to Darrell. But at the front of the race, it's Merckx leading. It's Cameron in second. Owen's just about hanging on. He's got to try and keep fighting hard to stay in that DRS line. And Darrell, that's why he's dropping back. He's got a front wing damage. Unfortunate for him. A little bit further back, the two Ferraris side by side. And Atsu's trying to join in the fun as well. Nitro's cleared Mikey. And I think Atsu's going to go past the Ferrari as well. But fair play. Trying to stay on the inside line of turn 2 is Mikey. But Atsu should have the momentum off of turn 3. And he goes through. Mikey tried to fight that as long as he could, but very difficult to do when you don't have the momentum with you. But Mikey now getting overtaken by Joe, so he drops down to 11th place. Oh, big snap of oversteer from Ryan. Those hard tyres clearly not fired up to temperature just yet. But the front two got a nice gap. But we are on lap 2 of the race. We're about to go over to lap 3, and it is Cameron now a second and a bit clear of Owen. So that gap between them for the DRS train is going to be big. But MDJ wants to get on with this. He's got the hard tyre. He doesn't care if it's slower than the mediums. He's on the inside. We'll watch it from on board with Simon Palmer. He's got the best view of the house. Owen's going to be on the inside at turn 2. And MDJ's hanging it in there. And the Alpha Tauri cements the position. Great battle. We're seeing a few moves around turn 2 tonight. And MDJ using the hard compound tyre to get past. And that's a big move. But these 4 together on circuit, Kent's included in that. Then it's the hard tyre lot all the way down the rest of the field. And they're kind of gapping one another at the moment. Good start for Joe up from the back of the grid as well, by the way. He's just having a look at the position change. He started 15th. He's up 7 spots. So Joe's having a whale of a time already. But we are about to have the DRS active for the first time. We've got the front 2.5 seconds clear. And they're just going to pull away now from MDJ. He won't have the residual grip in the Pirelli compound, those hard tyres yet. And those softs are going to be so quick. Nice catch on the oversteer from Owen. I don't know, Ginger Tiger's going to join this group as well if they keep having a bit of a fight between everybody. So towards turn 1 they go, and it's going to be Owen re-overtaking the AlphaTauri, you would assume. They're both on the battery. MD Chase trying to go to the inside line. He's trying to defend from Simon. Simon knows if he wants to get up the field and go for a podium, he's got to get past MDJ now, but he can't. And here comes Kent to try and take advantage of Simon's line through turn 2. They're going to be side by side through there. You don't normally get two cars running through, but they're both keeping it clean. Simon's going to have the inside line, and he bullies his way back past Kent. And he was entitled to do so. He did have the inside line for that corner, and Kent nicely backing out of that, not wanting to cause a collision. But all of that fighting's just given Owen the momentum to just pull away, and he might get clear of DRS now. And then MDJ really will be at the mercy of the cars behind. And yeah, there we go. There's the gap out to a second. So Simon and Kent are going to be close enough shortly to close that gap via DRS. As Joe picks up the first time penalty of everybody tonight. It won't be the last. Nitro running in 10th place. Mikey's got Ryan and Martin behind him on the hard tyres. Spud's there in 14th. Darrell obviously recovering. He's got to hope realistically for a safety car at this point. There's Darrell now. Cameron not close enough into turn 1. I don't know if Simon's going to be, and the answer to that is no. Kent trying to follow him through as well. I think Ryan's just about to go past. Well, I thought he was about to go past Mikey then, but he didn't make that move. He's fighting hard with Spud and... Oh, he's fighting hard with Martin, is Ryan down in 12th position. But the front two and a bit seconds clear of Owen, whose medium tyres will start working now. They'll be on parity with the softs, I would assume, at this point. Kent looking all over the rear diffuser of that Alpine. We're riding on board with the Mercedes. And Kent really trying to find his way through, but he's got to do it sooner rather than later, because his tyres will start to fall off and then he will be struggling in the Mercedes, and he'll have to make an earlier pit stop than those around him. Tyre strategy, it is saying lap 12 or 13 for the softs. I think beyond that you'll see the tyres explode as we go on to another lap here at Losail International Circuit for lap 6. Joe has gone past Ginger Tiger for 7th place. Straightforward DRS, and Simon has gone through on MDJ. MDJ trying to fight around the inside, which will be the outside for turn 2. And he's giving it his all as MDJ, and I think Simon might have been a little bit surprised by that. Then through turn 3. Simon's not going to give this up. I know Simon's a battler, and that's sure enough is what was happening. A little bit of contact. MDJ just backs out of that. Just about survive those two. But having said that, Simon runs deep at the left-hander at turn 6 on the hairpin. He's going to have the wrong line as MDJ for turn 7, and sure enough, whoa! Kent with a big lunge. Has to get out of the throttle on that one. The door shut as soon as he went for the gap. They continue forward. And Ryan now joins the penalty list. That's going to keep growing today. And look at Kent trying to go. Whoa, whoa, wow, wow, wow. Kent got that all wrong. And he's been overtaken by Joe, who's absolutely flying, is Joe at the moment. He's really using the medium tyre as well. Up from 15th, don't forget. Now in 6th, up 9 places. Having an absolute blast in that Mercedes. Now Simon weaving across the track. He knows he's got to try and keep MDJ behind him so that he can get off and up the road. He's still got the better tyre than the AlphaTauri, and he's, well, I was about to say MDJ's not going to get past him, but he did make that attempt into turn 1. Simon holds his line, and Joe's got the bit between his teeth. He's really looking racy here today. Two Mercedes, 6th and 7th, not teammates. Due to how the teams are constructed, this is the Realistic Performance League. For those that are watching, it's based off your performance across the different tiers. So you've got the drivers like Mikey, Nitro Gash and Sir Spud there in the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Tier 4 drivers. Whoa, big slide from Ken. Good save from him. And then you've got drivers such as Merckx and Cameron who are in Tier 1 and they're in the slower cars. But Simon leads this group of 5 cars, which could become 6 if could become 7 if Atsu can drag Nitro Gash along with him. Ryan is in front of Mikey, by the way. He did make that overtake earlier. But Simon just cannot seem to pull away. And Simon tactically brakes earlier, but Joe's going to take advantage of that. They're going to lean on one another through turn number 15. Then it's going to be a blast towards the car in front of them. And Simon has to give a little bit of room to Joe down the main straight. He's going to have the slipstream. Will he be close enough to make a lunge on MDJ? He's going to look to the outside line at turn 1. These guys giving us a great performance. But Simon's going to go on the inside of Joe to regain 5th place. Wow, huge moments between everybody on the circuit. And Simon, with his elbows out, just about maintained 5th place. He could have lost another spot then. That's a time penalty as well. There's a yellow flag. I think Spud's in the wall. And that's a virtual safety car. That's a broken front wing. And Darrell will be devastated because I bet you he was hoping for a full safety car. But Spud losing the rear of the car at turn 1. No front wing. And how long is this VSC going to be out for? Are the drivers on the soft tyres? Are they going to think about potentially pitting under the VSC? There's still a long way to go in the lap for them, but that might be a strategy they'd want to consider. Maybe try and run another tyre, 2-stop potentially. Just looking at the indicator. Yes, they have both gone in. I had a feeling that would be the case. They go into the pit lane. What about anybody on the mediums? Will Kent peel into the pits? He does. So all those running softs in the pit lane. So Owen will take control of the lead of the race. It's going to promote everybody else up the grid order. MDJ goes up to second. The VSC still out now. So this has worked out perfectly for our race leaders. And in fact, I'm just looking to see where they are. Yeah, they're going to get a pit stop, reduced time. Now, is Merckx going to beat Ryan to the flat? He is, and that's a drive-through penalty for Sai. Now, I wonder if that could be a glitch. We've seen that a few times today. I say today in terms of this week at Qatar. There's been a few problems, and Simon goes past Ginger Tiger again. But there's been a few problems with a glitch here in Qatar with that timing glitch coming up. And if that is the case, that's just ruined Simon's race, sadly. So, we green flag running again here in Qatar. Lap 9 of the race. We're a third of the way through, pretty much. Still 20 laps to go after the one that we're currently on. And it's MDJ now taking up the hunt to try and catch Owen. The problem is that these guys are only 8 seconds clear of Merckx and Cameron. Now, Merckx is going for a 2-stop. I imagine Cameron's also going to do the same thing. Atsu joins the list of drivers to have a time penalty. Merckx is going to be so fast, though, at this point in the race. He's got fresh soft tyres on. He's going to absolutely fly past everybody. Speaking of flying past, Joe up to second. Nice move on MDJ. Joe really showing some form tonight. Trying to add to his sprint victory that he had quite a while ago now. I think it was back at Imola. Some fighting going on there between Nitro Gash and Atsu. Merckx will not want to get involved in this. And the problem is he can't get round them yet. Is he going to try and go around the outside of Atsu? That's a brave move. That's a good overtake into turn 4. And will he make this lunge? Yes, he will into turn 6. He's got the better stopping power on the red Pirelli tyres. And he's up to 6th. And he'll be on the back of Simon within the lap, I think. Because those fresh soft tyres are blisteringly quick. And Cameron also doing the same now, trying to make his way through the pack. A little bit of battery going on from Cameron. He's going to go past Nitro, who just moves out of the way. I think Nitro realising this is not his fight tonight, with Cameron all murked. And like I said, within the lap, Merckx would be right behind Simon Palmer. And Simon, I think, going into the pits, I think he swung in then. Yeah, he does. So he's a new set of tyres for the Alpine. And Merckx will have DRS as well because of Simon jumping into the pit lane. Cameron goes through as well. Cameron only a second and a half behind Merckx. So these two will have to pit again. Not over between those guys at all. But this is really good fighting at the moment on track. There's a lot of intrigue now. And here comes Merckx. There's another overtake coming our way. Ginger's gonna, well, I was going to say gonna fight it, but he decided against it. And Merckx now up to 4th. And he's within 2 seconds of MDJ and Joe Hamster, who, I might reiterate here, have yet to make a pit stop. The AlphaTauri is having fun dancing around on those soft tyres. Ginger Tiger's about to be joined by Cameron. See if Cameron decides to look at a move on the exit of turn 10. Actually picks up another time pass. Here we go, a little bit of battery from Cameron. He likes this overtake. But Ginger's trying to fight this off. And now he backs out of it. But Ginger will get the benefit of DRS if he can just stay within a second of the drag reduction system detection point. Let's just see as he comes towards that point. Yeah, Ginger Tiger does get that. Now, Merckx. Oh, easy as you like. He was past MDJ before we got round the final corner, and Merckx going to have DRS, a bit of battery. Here he comes to the outside of Joe Hamster. There's not much the Mercedes is going to do to fend off the AlphaTauri. He puts the car to the inside, but Merckx goes round him and into second place. And that safety car, that VSC, has proved to be an absolute godsend. And Merckx is on his way to a championship tonight. This is a phenomenal drive. Unless absolute chaos were to happen in the next 17 laps, you're about to see a champion crowned with 2 rounds to go here in the Realistic Performance League at Invictus. And he's going to set off after Owen. He's done 3 laps on those tyres. That car will be super quick. And I reckon within 2 laps, he'll be right on the back of the Alfa Romeo, if not past. So our attention's then turned to Cameron now, because Cameron's going to be the only driver who realistically, at this point in the race, will be able to take the fight to Merckx. Not to say that anybody else is out of it, as Owen now, the race leader, pits. So forget what I was saying about Merckx getting up to him within 2 laps, because Merckx's already gone past him and into the race lead. But Cameron is running a similar strategy. He's right behind MDJ. Now he's going to use a little bit of battery, and MDJ just lets him go. There's a big fight on, though, for 3rd place, I have to say. Owen taking a completely different strategy. He's running a 1-stop, and he's on the hard tyre. Those hards will last to the end of the race, no problem at all. But we're riding on board with Cameron here at turn number 4. Oh, look at the speed and the grip he's got. Is he going to dive one? He's not going to dive one. Can he get any traction on the exit of turn 6? He does, but not quite enough. He kind of has to get on with this as soon as he can, because Joe is losing 10ths corner by corner. And Cameron's going to have to go for it. Yeah, he does. There we go, at the inside. A little bit of contact. I don't think Joe will be too pleased about it, but Cameron has gone through, and the gap is 3.5 seconds, and that's quite large. And if they're due to stop again, there's a yellow flag out there. I think that's Simon who's gone round, potentially. No, it is Simon, actually. I'm not sure what's happened, but unfortunately, his race just hasn't gone to plan. But Joe wants to just stick with Cameron. He'll get a benefit of DRS. Ginger's in the pits. Now, that's early for the hards, and I wonder if he's going to do a 2-stop here. I wonder if Ginger will go medium soft. Joe tries to fight back into turn 1, but thinks better of it. Oh, big snap of oversteer from Joe then. Out of turn 1. And another snap on the exit of turn 2. So those mediums now starting to feel a little bit second hand. And those that are on the hard tyres behind him, such as MDJ, are going to feel a lot more confident on that compound. Simon Palmer has also pitted. Oh, I was just going to say, he has just pitted, but he's not just done that. He has retired from the race. So sadly, Simon is out. Not ideal. He had a decent sprint race, but his aims and objectives of the podium just haven't happened for him. So he retires in the pit lane. That won't bring out a safety car. All will be safe there. And Joe now pits. So Joe makes his decision to pit now. MDJ should get DRS, I think. Yeah, he does. That'll give him a little helping hand, because Joe was in front of him as they approached the detection point. Puts Nitro up to 4th. And Joe also doing a 1-stop. So a mixture of 2 stops and 1 stops around the field today. Atsu also in the pit lane. That promotes Owen up to 5th. And after the pit stops, Owen would be expected to be running in 3rd place. He's the lead driver currently on the conventional 1-stopping strategy. As a few more drivers start to pick up time penalties, including Martin there. Hello to those that are in the comments. Hi to Malk, good to see you. As well, who's saying hello. Hopefully we will see you back, Malk, next season. We've been lost without you. But Owen, we're following at the moment. Going to cut back a little bit further because Ginger Tiger and Martin together are on circuit. The cause of the big accident in race 1 in terms of the sprint, MDJ pits, and Ginger Tiger has said he's had enough of Martin's rear wing in the Haas, and he goes on through before we get to turn 11. So the Alpine moves up a spot. Nitro and MDJ are in the pits. Oh, big wobble for Martin over the curbs there on the exit of turn 13. He did well to get away with that. And Owen goes up to 3rd spot. And MDJ and Nitro, looks like they're both running the conventional strategy. Kent also has done 7 laps on the hard tyre. Now, I'm going to find it. I find it difficult for Kent to try and do 20 laps. So I wonder if he's going to run the hards for a bit and then potentially pit again for a pair of soft compound Pirellis. Malk saying you never know. I do hope Malk does return. Si has just joined us. Simon Palmer retired from the race. Simon, hopefully you can hear me. What happened there? Because it looked like you were running well in the sprint race, and then seems like it just went a bit wrong for you in the feature.
Yeah, I was running. I had rear wing damage.
Oh no! How did you sustain that, Mark? Mate.
We were running settings for rear wing damage, but I couldn't get the car just wouldn't grip. It was just all over the place.
Oh, that is a shame to hear. You know, we do obviously with the damage settings. Obviously, it does affect the rear downforce of the car, and once you get rear wing damage in this game, it does. Yeah, once you get rear wing damage, that kind of signals a game over.
I got whack from behind on lap 1. I don't know if it's from or whatever, but it happens, you know, it's what it is.
What were you, I mean, how did it go for you in the sprint? Because, you know, we're following the action on track at the moment. I'm just watching Nitro Gash about to overtake Ryan with DRS. But how did the sprint race go for you? Because you got into good fights there.
Yeah, sprint was going well. It's definitely. Oh, I'm just looking at Merck's tyres. He's what tyres is he on?
He's on the soft compounds at the minute.
Yeah, they're Did he start soft?
Yeah, he did. So he ran soft in the first stint. He's running soft, so he'll have to go mediums at the end of the race.
Oh, he's made them last 17 laps on softs.
I think you're.
Or is it, oh no, he's boxed, doesn't he? He's
Yeah, he
boxed.
has done. Yeah.
He's boxed, yeah, yeah. So he's switched to a two-stop. I mean, my plan tonight was a medium soft.
Hmm.
It works. It worked for me on Tuesday.
Yeah. Do you think around here, obviously, I'm watching Joe getting up to the back of Kent. He's behind his Mercedes stablemate. What were you expecting from the medium tyre life around here? Is it something you can play about with? As actually Kent just goes into the pit lane. Is it something you can play about with? Do you think, Si?
Mediums, I was going to go lap 16. I went lap 17 on Tuesday, and it actually punctured on the last bend. Um, so it was a lap too much. So I was going to go lap 16 and then onto the softs. The softs just don't drop off. You can still just put lap times in. It's crazy.
That's interesting to find out because we were in tier 4 earlier this week. We're having some difficulties. We got this nice fight though going on with Nitro Gash here in 7th place. Obviously, Nitro a tier 4 driver. Atsu trying to get past him. He's on the inside at turn 4, but no move going on through there. Do you think Atsu will get him?
I need to look at what tyres are on and what.
Oh, as I say that. Sorry to interrupt you, Si, but Atsu lost the back end.
You've done the commentator curse. Merck is in the pits.
So that is a big change at the front. Mercked into the pits on lap 18. He's going to get a fresh set of medium compound tyres on. Cameron carries on. He can do. He's on an alternative strategy. Now, Owen, if my mathematics are correct here, as MDJ picks up another time penalty, should emerge very close to Merckx, if not in front of him. And I think he will be in front as we go towards lap 19.
He's in front.
Yeah.
Well and truly in front. In fact, Merckx could be in trouble from Joe.
Just watching down the main straight. I think Joe's going to be a little bit too far behind, but Merckx now with those softer compound tyres. In fact, MDJ just goes past Ginger Tiger 5th. Those softer tyres, if you've got fresh tyres on, and Si, I'm sure you'll agree with me this, as Owen picks up a time penalty, once you start getting a new fresh set of tyres on compared to those that are on harder compounds or older tyres, shall we say, the new tyres are so much quicker, aren't they?
They're so much quicker around here. I mean, Merckx he'll be up to speed already on those. You can get the tyres working almost immediately. What is going to be interesting is whether I need to alter the interval. There we go. Whether Merckx will catch Owen, which I think is highly likely, because Owen could go to the end. Owen's carrying a penalty, Merckx not, so Merckx looking an easy P1 in my opinion.
Well, let's hope your predictions ring true for Merckx, because if that is the case, he will be crowned the Realistic Performance League champion tonight with 2 rounds to spare. He's been utterly dominant, and the only driver who mathematically has got a chance of winning this is Ryan, but his absence last week is counted against him really, and now he's fighting to try and get onto terms with SFR Martin as Kent picks up a time penalty. I wonder it's a case of how many drivers are going to be left without having a time penalty. Mikey moves up to 12th. That's a nice move on to Spud as he goes through there in the Ferrari. Those 2 tier 4 drivers having a nice scrap near the back. But there's a lot at stake here, and despite the Drivers' Championship looking like it's going the way of Merckx, MDJ up with Joe, I think Joe's having the best race of his season. He's been absolutely brilliant in this race.
Joe's having a cracker, to be honest. Yeah, he's doing well. He come up behind me like a bolt of lightning as well. I was shocked where he come from. The Merc does work well around here, to be fair. So that does kind of help. I'm gonna call Merck, Cameron, then Owen.
In that
That's what I'm
order.
gonna call it as. Yep, Merck, Cameron, Owen.
Well, Mert, Cameron, Owen. Let's see if that prediction does ring true. I'm looking at the gap between Merck and Cameron.
It's a big call.
It is a big decision. But Merck is 15 seconds behind Cameron, so Cameron, he's going to have to pit. There's no way that those tyres are going to last. Look at that new fastest lap from the AlphaTauri. But a bit further back, MDJ in the other Faenza-based car breezes on by on Joe there. And there's another 8 laps to go after this one, so these two are in a straight fight for position. We look at the time penalties. Joe has 6 seconds worth, unfortunately. So that probably, unless MDJ gets another penalty, it's going to count against him.
The reason why I'm saying Merck, Cameron, then Owen, is because Cameron has missed the window to box. I think so he's going to have to eke it out to the end. He's going to have to.
Do you think the mediums, because he's done 12 laps, do you think he can nurse 20 lap old mediums?
He can take them to the end.
He got a yeah.
To the end. He's got to. He's got no choice. He's going to have to.
It's just about. Well, as you say that, yeah, Cam decides to pit, and I had a feeling he would.
Ooh.
So he goes into the pits. Merck is right with Owen. I'm watching the fight, and actually Owen's pitting as well. So that is a surprise. Owen decides to box, and I'm going to assume he's going to go for soft tyres. Cameron getting, yeah, Cameron getting serviced by Haas. It's a new set of softs for him. Owen's a surprise. I thought he was comfortable enough to get P3, but clearly the two teammates have decided they're going to try and take the fight to Merck on the softer tyres. But that is a brave decision.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked, if I'm honest. especially from Owen. I can kind of get it from Cameron, but I honestly thought Cameron would even eke it out. There was no way I thought Owen would box, but
No.
they are going to be rapid, them sauce.
Yeah, they're
going to be rapid.
They are going to be quick, and Cameron has made very light work of Nitro, and Nitro tags the back of the Haas, and that's him having a little half spin on the exit at turn 6, sadly. Owen's got a lot of ground to make up. I'm just looking at the gap between himself and the leader now. Obviously 23 seconds in 7 laps is not going to happen, but he is 14 seconds behind Joe.
Do you know what? This is still doable. This could still be Merck, Cameron, Owen.
Yeah.
It really could.
I'm looking forward to this. We've got an intriguing last 7 laps of the race after the one we're on currently. But Merck does have this race lead. He's 8.5 seconds clear. You could add a few seconds onto that because of MDJ's time penalty. We've only got 4 drivers left in the entire field who are yet to pick up a transgression. But Cameron is blasting the battery round here, and he needs to get on with it, doesn't he, if he wants to get past Ginger, and then he'll have Joe and MDJ to get back to where he was before.
Those times were just, those intervals, the sectors, they would just drop like anything. Ginger's going to get Joe, so I think Ginger's going to end up P4. I think Joe will be P5, and then Nitro P6.
Well, I'll tell you what, Si, if you're accurate, if your predictions become accurate, you can do my lottery numbers tomorrow. But but in any respect, let's see how this plays out. Owen has got their hammer down, by the way. We are keeping an eye on those two on the softs. He's now 2.5 seconds behind Nitro, and he's just set the new fastest first sector of the entire race. So using those tyres, Cameron struggling to get past Ginger. I wonder if he's going to wait till the DRS, because he likes this exit at turn 10. He likes to put the battery down and try and get through. But that Alpine, Simon, you were obviously driving it before. How quick is it in a straight line compared to the cars around you?
It all depends on the setup around here. It's not renowned for straight line, as we know. It's all setup related. I was running quite a relatively high front wing with quite a big gap to my rear wing, and Cameron's going to do it now so that he's moved on. So Cameron's on the move. and Owen's got nitro, so Owen's on the move.
Yeah, and a new fastest lap from Owen as well. So the two bottom gear drivers making overtakes in the same place. Now Owen's got 5 seconds to make up on Ginger Tiger, whose 10-lap-old tyres are going to be squealing a little bit, I think, at this point in the race. He's going to have to try and stick with Cameron in the DRS range. It's going to be very challenging. In fact, I think he's going to fall out of it as soon as I say it, but Ginger's got to work.
By the main straight.
Yeah.
He's out of it now.
Already, exactly. How quick was that?
Cameron's already taken Owen's already taken 2 seconds out of Ginger.
Wow.
That was 5.5. It's now 3.5. It's now coming down to 3.
This is unbelievable progress from these two drivers, and it was something that was discussed. I was saying before the race started that, a one-stop strategy is conventional round here. From my own experience, having raced in Tier 4 earlier this week, I ran a 2-stop strategy and came up the field, which worked out for me. So I know that a 2-stop is perfectly viable, but it all depends on how quick you are in the middle sector. As you've just said, Si, the first at this track, you do run quite a lot of downforce, so you've got to make the soft tyres count early on, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. You've got to make use of them. You've got to be fast around the track no matter what to make a 2-stop work. Ryan's out. Is that going to be safety car?
No, he's retired in the pits.
Oh, he's in the pits.
Yeah.
In the pits. Oh, why is he retired in the pits?
And with that retirement, that has just crowned Merckx as our champion here of the Realistic Performance League. He doesn't know it yet, but that has just confirmed it. Ryan will score 0 points, and Merckx, who's on for a race win, is your champion for this season.
He might well know if he's got somebody in his ear roll telling him. And Ryan's car has also come out the pits, which is very nice. So,
we have our champion, and I'm going to give him the celebration he deserves when he goes on the last lap. But our focus is watching Cameron and Owen. Go on.
We were 2 laps ago talking about Owen on the back of Ginger. He's now got him already.
Yeah.
5.5 seconds in 2 laps.
That is unbelievable progress. That is the difference, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Those soft tyres are so fired up at this point in the race. Martin's pitted again, actually, I've just noticed, but he's got...
Cameron will get Joe and MDJ. Owen will get Joe and MDJ. Ginger will jump Joe, and Nitro will finish behind them.
This has got all the hallmarks of changing around. We've got 4 laps to go, including this one. Now, here's something you're seeing, everybody. Owen and Cameron, teammates, don't forget, are working together, because Owen has climbed onto the back of Cameron, and they're going to have DRS for one another to just quickly pull themselves towards the 2 left on the podium. And I'm looking at MDJ and Joe Hamsters. Joe's got 9 seconds worth of penalty, so he might fall further back than just that. But MDJ, that's the question mark. It's going to be so tight at the end.
Yeah, I think MDJ's going to be in trouble with his tyres as well. He's theoretically in the top 5. He's probably the worst on tyres. Well, he is the worst on tyres because Joe's hard's going to be better than MDJ's. Merckx are better than MDJ's, and so are Cameron and Owen. So MDJ is the vulnerable one in the top 5.
That he is, as the 2 bottom gear drivers switch themselves round, and now it's a leapfrog race between the 2 of them before they get to the checkered flag. The gap is 2.6 seconds to Joe Hamster. The gap between himself and, if we just have a quick look here, the gap between MDJ and Owen is 4 seconds. But I've just noticed, and forgot to mention this, Owen's got 3 seconds worth of time penalties as well. So if he wants to get MDJ, he's going to have to do it on track. And MDJ's not an easy driver to overtake in the slightest. That is going to be a blockbuster if they get together on circuit. We've got less than 3 laps to go. And Sai's reputation and his predictions are going to determine how this race pans out.
Yeah, if this doesn't go right, expect radio silence.
Yeah, for sure. And for me, not giving you the lottery numbers to give me for tomorrow.
Yeah. Owen's wide again.
He was very wide. He should be okay. He can get away with a few track limit violations before he gets another set of penalties, 2 particular he can get away with. And Owen is now almost within a second. He's got to find 2.9 seconds on this lap and the next one, but he's got a Mercedes between himself and MDJ. Cameron's on his way to a podium as it stands, but having said that, Cameron isn't really making the gains I thought he would. This is not over yet. There's a long.
Cameron's totally dropped pace.
I wonder, is he fuel saving? Because one thing I didn't mention in this race, because I know a lot of the drivers watch.
I had this on Saturday night.
Yeah.
100% race, and I had to fuel rate. Oh, and that's who's out.
He's in the pit lane. Yeah, no.
I had 100% race on Saturday round here, and with 12 laps to go, I had to fuel save because I didn't have enough fuel.
No.
I fuel saved for 6 laps, and then I dropped. I was in 3rd, I think, and I dropped all the way down to 6th, and then everybody else in front of me didn't fuel save. They all ran out of fuel and come across the line in the winning it. So yeah, I took the win and 100% race because nobody else fuel saved, and I did it throughout the race. So, but this is going to get tasty. Cameron is fuel. Cameron's done on fuel.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is a move. Contact between Joe and Owen. And Owen goes a little bit sideways. Joe was not giving that one up. He wants to hang on for as long as he can. We are on the final lap. Big slide from the Mercedes. He just about hangs onto the car. This is Joe's best performance of the season. He had his sprint win, of course, earlier on in Imola, but this has been brilliant from the Mercedes man. Merckx is just coming towards turn 10. I'm going to give him the focus in a minute. I'm just wondering if Owen can get past him before that corner at turn 7. The answer to that is currently no, but he is all over the rear wing.
He's got the biggest chance to do Joe out the last bend.
He can do.
Out of ERS. Got some.
He does indeed. But I want to put my focus on Merckx because this man has been absolutely unbelievable this season. He's been a tour de force through this championship. Merckx, ladies and gentlemen, is your champion here in the Realistic Performance League, and what a way to win it. Comfortably clear of the rest of the pack. MDJ is going to round for second place. Here we go! Owen's going to go through!
Oh my God!
MDJ survives for second, but Owen gets Joe on the line for third. Cameron will take fourth.
Penalties.
Yeah, Joe's going to drop down. Ginger Tiger's going to hold on for sixth. Nitro so close to getting sixth place. Kent is eighth. Martin will be the last car to score, finish on the lead lap. Mikey, fair play to him. Top 10 result. He'd be delighted with that. He wasn't racing as of half an hour ago. And Spud and Darrell getting to the flag as well. What a blockbuster of a finish that was.
That was banging. That was good. There's a couple of unhappy drivers already.
Oh dear.
In the chit chat.
Oh dear.
But hey ho, everyone was entitled to fight. You know, they're not being lapped, so they're entitled to fight like anything. And Joe Hampster picking up driver of the day by the game, and to be honest, I think that's actually a fair call.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I think Joe has been absolutely bombastic today. It's been really good to see him up there, regardless of, you know, the Realistic Performance League giving that opportunity for drivers in different cars. But it's really good to see him up there. It's been a tough season for him, and it was a tough sprint race as well, considering what went on.
It's a tough one throughout. It's been a tough season.
It has been.
Apart from Mert.
Yeah, apart from Merckx,
Yeah,
everyone
he's
else.
laying on his cloud floating in the sky. He's a happy man.
So let us run through our final race standings. I say final race standings, provisional ones, of course. MDJ finishes second to our race winner, which is Merckx, and our champion here for the Realistic Performance League. It's Owen in third with Cameron, Joe rounding out the top five. Ginger Tiger, Nitro, Kent in 6th, 7th and 8th. Kent saying that his hard tyres only lasted 10 laps. That's a shame. Martin and Mikey rounding out the top 10 with Spud and Daryl getting to the finish. Atsu retired but is classified because he finished within 90% of the race distance, so he will get some points, I think. Ryan and Simon, who's obviously here in the comms box, joining us to have a chat about everything. I'm delighted to say that we have got one of our drivers in for this evening. It's always MDJ. It's always nice to chat to you, friend. It was a tough race for you. I think the sprint was a big battle. The feature race was a battle as well. But tell me about it from your perspective, MDJ. How did you feel like you got on?
Yeah, I believe I didn't have the pace as the other three that was leading the race, and I thought I would have finished P4, but I don't know what happened at the front, but I somehow became second. I mean, I'll take it, but it's weird seeing that. I had a battle with the cars behind, but I felt like I could have been quicker than them, but I was slower than the cars ahead, so I would have probably been in no one's land. So who knows? But P2 for now, so happy for now.
Were you ever enticed by the prospect of doing a two-stop? I saw other drivers planning it. Did it ever cross your mind about potentially wanting to do that?
I was thinking about it, but I was just trying to stick to the same strategy as yesterday.
Yeah.
And try and make it, even though I had a puncture at the moment I went into the pit lane. It
I
kind of
did?
worked
Wow.
out. Yeah.
That must have been a bit alarming for you, trying to get on the brakes at the end of the pit lane.
Yeah, it was really. I had to brake really early for the pit lane, so I was very lucky not to get a 5-second time penalty for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously now for yourself, MDJ, you know, I was saying that Merckx is your champion for the Realistic Performance League, but you've got a big fight ahead for second place in the drivers. Is that a fight you reckon you can take victory in, or what's your thoughts? 2 races to go, Australia and Japan next up.
I mean, it's a fight that I can win, but it depends on what is going to happen with luck and pace as well, because Cameron Silver's back on the paces none of the last few races. So we'll see what's going to happen.
One final question from me. We do have Sai with us, so I don't know if Sai will want to ask a question after. Actually, Sai, do you want to ask a question?
Hello, I'm here. How are you doing, MGJ?
Hi, I'm doing quite good, I guess.
You've got to be happy with that result. From my point of view, if I'm honest, I couldn't see a podium sitting there at all. So a P2 out of that should feel pretty good.
I mean, P2 was very good. It didn't look like I was gonna get P2. Well, it looked like I was gonna be P4, like about 10 or 20 seconds behind P3. So this was lucky.
And how do you feel for the remaining races? The tracks, are they tracks that you like? Are they tracks you can gain some points on, or How are you feeling just for the remaining of the season now that we know the champion's crowned? What's your goal for the end of the season?
Well, obviously, my goal for the season is to become second in the championship, but that's still a long way to go. And with the tracks that's coming up, I don't know who's quicker and who's not. And I know that this track is now gone, so I can actually have some good tracks. So
Well, then, go on, MDJ, finish off your point. I don't want to cut you off.
so yeah, now that's done. I maybe can I can maybe win every race now. So we'll see.
Nice. That's nice positive attitude.
Well, in any case, MDJ, well done on today's results. It might have been a bit of luck, but sometimes that's all you need. But well done on the podiums.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
All right, I'm just going to have a little run through from the comments that we've got from our other podium finishes and our champion, of course. Just to say, Owen, who finished on a little bit further down, he just said, world's longest VSC. Hurt my strategy and game gave him hard tyres for my middle stint instead of the soft. So he's used some expletives to describe the race. I won't repeat those for those that are watching. But Owen not particularly pleased about that. Now, our champion Mercked has said, what a season it has been, honestly. Today's race wasn't as easy as the gap seemed. Very equal on pace with Cameron and Owen, and I think the strategy made the win possible. Congrats to the podium, and time to focus on the constructors is what he's saying. He's trying to make it 2 out of 2.
Yeah, it's good way to be. You know, he's wrapped up the drivers, so yeah, focus on constructors.
Yeah, and I think him and Martin are going to try and work out some strategies for Australia. We'll see if the other drivers can fight their way back for the P2 championship fights. So I say championship fights, I don't just mean the drivers, but constructors is still open, of course, with 2 rounds remaining. We head over to the land of the Down Under for round 14 of the championship next week, and after that, we're at the finale in Japan. I want to just say a quick thank you to Si for joining me. Appreciate that, mate.
That's all right, man. No worries. I was out early, so why not walk up the paddock and come and join in the box?
I like a prime Martin Brundle. Thank you very much for joining me there. And obviously, for everyone who's watching right now, thank you very much for watching us live here in Invictus Racing League. If you are watching, if you haven't done so already, do give us a like on the stream. It does mean a lot to our platform, to raise us a little bit more in terms of our visibility, and to press that subscribe button as well. It's always great to have your encouragement and support. The Invictus Racing League drivers will be back in action again next Monday for round 14. Also at Australia, Tier 4 and Tier 3 have got a bombastic championship going on in their respective tiers. Do check that out on any live streams that are forthcoming. If you want to get involved with the Discord, do get involved. It's a good community to be part of, where there's always frayed emotions, but a general nice family spirit to everybody in there. But from me, Jack TM53, I've been your commentator for the Realistic Performance League. And wherever you might be in the big wide world, have a good one, and see you next week.